It's funny how some of the shortest stories, they really stick with you. They leave you wondering. And
Yeah.
Hills Like White Elephants, it's like the definition of that.
Right.
So we've got Hemingway's story, and we've got that Steve Swope interview, ready
Ah,
to uh, ready to really dig in, see what's hiding under the surface of this thing.
absolutely. And it is amazing what Hemingway does with, well, so few words. Like, we're dropped right into it, right?
Oh, dear.
This couple, train station, all this tension. But even the setting, he makes it a character.
It's true. It's so much more than just background. Like, sets the whole mood. What you think about that Barren Valley bit?
Oh, man, that image. He could have just said, hot day, done. But that emptiness, that dryness, it gets in your head. Like you said, the setting, it's their relationship almost.
Totally. And then you've got the other side, right? The fertile part. Almost like, is that hope? Or is that what they're losing?
See, Hemingway, he doesn't give us the easy answer. Ever. He wants us in that uncomfortable place, stuck wondering. You ever feel that? Like your whole life, it's at a crossroads, depending on what you decide.
Oh, absolutely. He nails that feeling. Speaking of things not spelled out,
Yeah.
that title, Hills Like White Elephants. Talk about loaded, even before page one.
Swope's interview, it really clicked for me there. The whole unwanted gift thing, you have to take it, but it's a burden.
Okay, yeah, let's break that down. We've all gotten those gifts.
Right. That huge stuffed animal, no room for it. That vase, ugly, but you gotta dust it every week.
Exactly. So when she says the hills are like that, it's like she's pointing at the problem, maybe the pregnancy, right?
Mm.
And especially because she's never even seen a white elephant.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Adds a whole other level, I think.
Oh, totally. But here's the thing. The hills. Just one way to see it. What else is a white elephant in this story?
Yeah.
Is it them being together at all? Him wanting to just travel, no responsibilities? Hemingway, he lets you decide.
It's kind of amazing. Right? Like, we're talking such a short story, but the emotions, the stuff he just hints at,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a whole world packed in there. And he does it all while, well, never actually saying what the operation is, like tiptoeing around it.
Classic Hemingway. He figures we, the readers, will get it.
Yeah.
But it's not just not saying abortion straight out, it's how he uses those other words. It, the operation.
Right. Makes it even more dense.
Exactly. Like you can almost hear that stuff they're not saying hanging in the air.
Totally. It's like that part where he's trying to, I don't know, make it no big deal. Awfully simple operation, Jig. Not really an operation at all. The way he says it twice, it's like he's trying to convince himself more than her.
And she doesn't even answer. Which, I don't know, that says it all, right? Like, he just sounds phony and the silence is deafening.
Yes, it's like the silence is another character,
Yeah.
because they can't actually talk to each other. Which, honestly, who hasn't been there when what you don't say is the loudest thing?
All the time. And so we get to that ending. I feel like that ending alone has caused more arguments
Oh, I bet.
than most stories do in total. What'd you make of it? They stay together, she go through with it.
Okay, full confession. I was going back and forth like crazy. On the one hand, you've got him right. Mr. Perfectly Simple, pushing for it. But then her last line, I feel fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I feel fine. I mean, come on. That's doing so much work. Is that her trying to believe it? Or is that, I don't know, her realizing she's got more strength than she thought?
See, that's the brilliance of it. Years later, we're still debating this. Slope even said, there is no right answer, which kind of frustrating, but also genius. You have to wrestle with it. There's no easy out.
Okay, so walk us through some of the big interpretations then. Help us out here.
All right, so one way to read it, she gives in, the pressure gets to her, she does what he wants. That I feel fine, repeated. That's her making peace with it, even if it's not what she really wants.
Yeah, that tracks. Especially with how, he's kind of got all the power in that relationship, it seems like. But could it be something else with that last line, I mean?
Definitely. Some folks, they say this whole conversation, it's a turning point for her. Like, by saying what she's scared of, even if it's coded, she's getting stronger. That I feel fine, it's her convincing herself that she can get out, even if it means leaving him behind.
I like that take on it. It's easy to get stuck on, oh, this is so sad, but maybe she is finding some strength there, even if it's, the start of it, not the answer.
Yeah, and that's what makes this story last, right? It isn't just some couple's problem back then. It's making choices, trying to talk to each other when it's hard. All that relationship stuff, it's always going to matter.
Right. Hemingway, back in the 20s, and we're still arguing about it.
Mm.
Crazy. What do you think AGD say about us still picking this apart?
I hope you'd be into it. Means the words are still doing their job, making us think hard, question stuff.
It's true, though. Even now, when everyone's always talking, some things don't change. Wanting to be heard, these huge choices. wanting to be close to someone but not trapped. It's all still there.
Here's a thought, though. What if this was today? This story, same basic situation, but now. Would Jig have more options, people to help her, or would the fight still be the same, just different clothes, different drinks?
Ooh, good one. Makes you
Oh,
wonder, right?
good.
All this tech, all this supposed progress, but are we any better at actually connecting when it really matters?
And so much of why this story works, I ask that silence. What's not said, you know? Maybe that's the takeaway. We're bombarded with stuff now, but pay attention to the quiet parts, the worries no one says out loud. That's where the real stuff is, still.
Man, lots to think about. Thanks for going on this journey with me. I always learn something.
Anytime. These classics, you never run out of new stuff to find.
And for everyone listening, hopefully this got you thinking about hills like white elephants in a new way. What'd you find hiding in there? Until next time, happy exploring, everyone.